Perfect. Good. Yep, volume's good. Watch that turn. There we go. Okay. More clear this time. But it is, though. Check out these mountains real quick. Sight right there in the mountains. Beautiful sight. Okay. All right, everybody. This is Poncho Blazing ATM, aka Reverend Joseph James Holland, at your service. I'm the social media and YouTube legend and future First Ballot Hall of Famer. I'm saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, staying saved, living right, doing God's will, and keeping heaven my home. And this is the 157th episode of the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast. So I welcome everybody to the 157th episode of the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast. And I'm so excited to see everybody. Somebody say everybody for tuning in. Whether you're tuning in through the live stream or whether you're tuning in through the previous recording. I appreciate everybody tuning in all around the world, no matter where and what you're tuning in from. And along with that, I also appreciate the YouTube Live Nation Chat for tuning in. YouTube Live Nation Chat, hello. Thank you all for tuning in as always. And thank you for joining me on this journey of 157 episodes of the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast. And that means we've only got less than or close to 40 episodes left before we officially hit the 200th episode. So within like 42 episodes left before the 200th episode of the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast, I'm so excited that we are on this journey all together. So it is a blessing to be able to be here with you all. And I'm looking forward to all the broadcasts that we do all together. It's all about connecting, engaging, and communicating. It's all about CEC. And just to let you know real quickly that as soon as we know the next broadcast of the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast and Facebook Live with Poncho Blazing ATM, I'll give you those dates as soon as possible. Now, I want to remind you all that starting from December the 24th all the way up until January the 1st, there'll be no live streams and no live recordings and live broadcasts whatsoever. So from Christmas Eve, December 24th, all the way into New Year's of January the 1st, there will be no live recordings and live broadcasts and live streams whatsoever. Unless I'm going to be at a concert, or unless I'm doing a birthday shout out, or unless I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, or unless I'm just doing an announcement, there will be no live streams and live broadcasts and live recordings from from Christmas Eve, December 24th, all the way until January the 1st. Now, don't forget that the Tri-City Empty Soccer Fund is going to be handing out food boxes for the local areas in Cumberland, Benham, and Lynch, Kentucky. So if you live in Cumberland, Benham, and or Lynch, Kentucky, make sure you pick up your food boxes tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at your designated location. Now, I'm so it's going to be great to have a week and a half off, but I will miss you all from Christmas Eve until New Year's Day. I'll miss you all. But while we're here, we are going to have the talks and everything. And I just want to show y'all something real quickly. Now, it's not as bad as it was this morning and yesterday morning, but in eastern Kentucky and southeast Kentucky, I mean, we got the snow like crazy. We got it like crazy and everything. I'm just going to show you all this real quick, give you all a minute to realize this. So if you don't have to work, if you don't have to go to school, please don't go outside while the weather's acting up. Now, I understand if you have to work, if you have to go to school, that's a requirement. You have to go to work and go to school. And there may be times that you may have to go to the hospital. You may have to see a doctor and a nurse. That's great too. But any other thing that is non-relevant, don't do it during this weather acting up. Yes, we want to capture moments and we want to capture memories. We want to capture photos of the snow. We want to capture photos of floods, hurricanes, thunderstorms, tornadoes. We want to capture those moments. And you can give people 100% warning, but they'll still find a way to come outside during this weather. Like I said, when you are doing this and it's non-relevant, you're putting people's lives at risk. You're putting law enforcement's lives at risk. You're putting firefighters' lives at risk, EMTs, and paramedics' lives at risk. This weather is great. I love seeing this type of weather. But if you don't have to drive in it, if you don't have to participate in it, then don't do it. It's not worth losing your life. It's not worth the risk. Everybody stresses about this all the time. Yes. It's great. And you can replace pictures. You can replace photos. You can replace worldly and daily things. But you can't replace your life, because you only have one life to live. Unless you're like a cat and have 9 lives, everybody only has one life. And we got to live it to the fullest. So I just encourage you that if you don't have to be out in this weather, don't be out in this weather. It is great. It is wonderful. But please, I encourage you, if you don't have to be out, don't be out in it. Take photos and pictures, but do it on your porch or at your house. Don't just come out here just to do it. Because like I said, you're putting people's lives at risk. And it's not fair to them to try to save you. But with that in mind, for the YouTube Live Nation chat, it looks like I've got Big Boy tuning in. Big Boy, hello. Thank you for tuning in to the Talking Poncho's Palace podcast. I appreciate you. Let me know how old you are and where you're from. That way we can shout you out properly. We are going to be talking about 2 people's retirements today. But before that, we got to talk about the Seattle flooding that happened previously. I believe yesterday morning or the other day. It took place in just a small town outside of Seattle, Washington. There was a flood that took place, and CBS Evening News had pictures and photos of it. And my goodness, you should have seen the water rise above. I mean, it caved to a lot of people's houses, caved to a lot of people's vehicles, and a lot of people had to leave on account of the flood. Anytime someone gives you a warning over anything, weather-wise, whether it's a flood, snow, tornadoes, thunders, volcanoes, whatever the weather type case may be, please take it seriously. I mean, every now and then, of course, the weathermen might get it wrong, but most of the time, they will get it right. And they're telling you this for a reason. Unless you're a meteorologist or a weatherman, you don't know what the weather's going to be like. And the only other person that knows the weather besides the meteorologist and weatherman is God, because God's in control of everything. But to see that flooding hit in Seattle, it was something right there. I mean, it was tragic. I don't know if there's been any reports of any deaths or if there's been any type of news released since that happened on CBS Evening News. But as soon as we have an update on that, as soon as we have any information on the Seattle flood, we will officially let you know right away. And speaking of that, we also got some breaking news to discover and to talk to you about. We all know who President Donald J. Trump Jr. is. We know who he is. He's the President of the United States of America that served 2 terms. The first term he served was from 2016 to 2020, and the second one is now from 2025 until 2029. Well, 2024 until 2028, rather. But the courts, well, first of all, he had immunity, which means that he basically could do whatever he wanted to and get away with it, get by with it. Now, the thing about that is that the courts, they overruled his immunity. And as of right now, he no longer has immunity over anything. So on that situation, his immunity is now up. And that means he can now get in trouble just like everybody else. Just because you're in power, that doesn't mean you can't get in trouble. Take a look, for example, at President Bill Clinton on what happened to him. And we all know what happened to him, what he was doing in his office, if you know what I mean. I just don't know about President Trump. All we can do is just let President Trump be President Trump. All right, it looks like we got Connor Mendez back. All right, Connor Mendez. Hey, it's good to see you back on the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast and back on the YouTube Live Nation chat. Welcome back to the YouTube Live Nation chat, Connor Mendez. It's so good to see you once again. How have you been? And I hope your week has been going great. Well, we are going to take our only commercial break real quick. After that, we've got to talk about 2 people's retirements, and we'll be right back within about 30 seconds. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 157th episode of the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast. And Connor Mendez, if I'm reading that right, did you say that you got school tomorrow on a Saturday? Okay, all right, school tomorrow on a Saturday. And I'm close to your house. Okay. I did not know that. Okay, all right. Well, hey, I hope that you do great in school tomorrow. And I wish you nothing but the very best in your time in school tomorrow. That's pretty odd for school to be on a Saturday, though, honestly. Well, we are going to talk about 2 people's retirements here in just a minute. But before that, I want to get this out the way real quick. As you all know, that usually when we have back-to-back podcasts, the second podcast is usually late nights, which means it's usually spicy and sexy talk on the second part of the podcast. Now, tonight, it is going to be sexy night once again and spicy talk, which means we're talking sexy and spicy talk on the late night version of the Talking Punches Palace podcast. Now, I just want to say this before we talk about Jim Caldwell and John Cena, and we go back to them officially. Let me get this out the way so that way we can continue. Now, for all the kids that are currently 17 and under, make sure y'all get y'all's parents' permission, because we want to be protected, and I want to be protected also. So that way we both are good. And the thing about this is that we want to keep everybody in good terms. So if you're 17 and under, make sure you get your parents' permission tonight to watch, because even though I'm a PG-13 guy, I can't promise you that we won't talk rated R and TVMA. So I just want to let you all know, 17 and under, if you choose not to get your parents' permission and you choose to watch anyway and listen, you may listen to watch something that might not be good for your ears and eyes. And to those who have sensitive ears and sensitive eyes, if you are uncomfortable with sexy and spicy topics, this might not be the episode for you later on the 158th episode later on tonight. But we're going to move on to Jim Caldwell. Now, who is Jim Caldwell? Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is the former meteorologist that was on WYMT, and now the former meteorologist that's on WKYT. Jim Caldwell has been doing that work for 32 years. In the early 2000s, he paved the way for a lot of meteorologists in today's generation. Somebody just took off right there out of nowhere. And without a meteorologist, Jim Caldwell, there will be no meteorologist, the late great Brandon Robinson. And for Jim Caldwell to do both WYMT and WKYT, that's impressive. You don't hardly hear anybody do both WYMT and WKYT. There's only a select few people that's ever did that. And Jim Caldwell's one of them. And you take a huge risk when you do both stations. But I'm so happy that he did both stations. And meteorologist Jim Caldwell, wherever you're at around the world, I'd just like to say thank you for always providing us with great memories, great moments, and for always waking us up early in the morning and being on with us late at night to give us great weather and great news about the weather, and not so great news about the weather. But you will truly be missed, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do in the near future. And that brings me to my final topic in the main event, in John Cena, the Doctor of Thugonomics. Now, John Cena has been a professional wrestler for 25 years. And as of tomorrow, he will have his final professional wrestling match against Gunther. Now, Gunther is an upcoming rising star that's been a world champion twice, I believe. And he has done great wonders, Gunther has. He is going to be a mega future superstar for years to come. And Gunther's already retired Bill Goldberg after Bill Goldberg had a 28-year professional wrestling career. So now John Cena's next on his retired list. And Gunther's just done an incredible job overall. But John Cena started his career in OVW. And he was the prototype at that time. And my goodness, he had muscles upon muscles. And he was doing great. Okay, Connor, time for you to go to school? Hey, well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and be sure to tune in if you're able to later on tonight. If not, I will see you next time, Connor, and you take care. And with John Cena, he was in OVW for 2 years. And he was in the OVW class in 2022. I'm sorry, OVW class in 2002. With him, Dave Bautista, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Victoria, and Rico. That was a great OVW class. Probably the greatest wrestling class of all time in the independent circuit. And John Cena was one of the first actual WWE superstars to be in the business. And he debuted in 2000, June 27th of 2002 against Kurt Angle. And then Kurt Angle basically just asked him, what's the one thing that qualifies you to be in the ring with me? And John Cena said, ruthless aggression. John Cena gave him a slap, and the rest is history. Now, in October 2002, they was getting ready to release John Cena. But they decided to give him one final run. So they gave him a rap character. And once they gave him that rap character, he became the Dr. Thuganomics. And that character was one of the greatest all-time characters in history. He was one of the first ones to actually transition from wearing wrestling boots to just wearing shoes in the wrestling ring. And a lot of people now wear shoes in the wrestling ring. And the thing about John Cena is that he's very unique and he's creative. He's won multiple championships, from the U.S. Championship to the World WWE Championship, all the way to the Intercontinental Championship, which he previously lost to Dominic Mysterio, which is no brainer. But John Cena has been the voice and the leader of WWE for 2 decades, in the 2000s and 2010s. No matter if you boo him or cheer him, he always enjoys fighting for everybody every single day. One of his greatest moments is when he became the WWE champion for the first time at WrestleMania 21 against JBL. And that reign's one of his all-time greatest, along with his reign at Unforgiven in 2006 when he defeated Edge. And with John Cena, you never know what he's going to do next, honestly. He could be a heel or a fan favorite. But if anybody can make it work, it's John Cena. And for that, John Cena, wherever you're at around the world, I'd just like to say thank you for creating great memories, great moments. Thank you for 25 years of your professional wrestling career. Thank you for just being you, John Cena. And thank you for just being humble. John Cena, you will be truly missed in the professional wrestling industry. And I wish you nothing but the very best in the near future. And with that, we are just about out of time with the Talking Poncho's Palace podcast. This has been a great episode of it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in all around the world. And somebody say everybody for tuning in all around the world. For Connor Mendez for tuning in, I'm going. Now this I have to stop. For Connor Mendez for tuning in, and from Big Boy for tuning in. I appreciate you all for tuning in so much on the Talking Poncho's Palace podcast, episode 157. It's been a true honor and privilege to be with you all. And for all the YouTube Live Nation chat that's tuned in, I thank you all so much for participating and for being there. You all have been a great audience, and I appreciate you all so much. And be sure to follow me at Joseph James Holland on my regular Facebook page. Be sure to subscribe to my Facebook fan page and Poncho Blazing ATM, where you can only subscribe to me for just 99 cents. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe to my YouTube page and Poncho Holland Vivo, and in order to receive live notifications and to join in on the YouTube Live Nation chat. Be sure to also follow and subscribe to our One Way Ministries and Global Force Record, GFR Incorporated's YouTube and Facebook pages. Be sure to follow and subscribe to my mother, Prophetess Princess Holland, at Prophetess Princess Holland Vivo on YouTube and Facebook. And be sure to follow us on TikTok, OnlyFans, Zang, and Google. So the weather is actually cleared up here where I'm at right now. But like I said, I encourage you all, please don't go outside if you have to, if the weather is dangerous. Now, if the weather is not dangerous, you still have to be careful regardless. But just please be careful with the weather the way it is, because this weather changes so fast, it'll make your head spin. And if the weather is dangerous, you don't have to go to work or school, please don't go outside. Because every time that you're going outside in dangerous weather, you're putting people's lives at risk. You're putting our law enforcement's life at risk, our firefighters' life at risk, our EMT and paramedics' life at risk. It is not worth it at all. I encourage you. There's going to be plenty of times where you're going to capture moments and memories. There's going to be plenty of times you're going to capture snow, thunder, hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanoes. There'll be plenty of times that you'll be able to do that. And just doing it one day just because you decide you want to is not worth it. Just because, oh, I got to protect my property. Oh, I got to protect my house. Oh, I just want to go outside because I feel like it and nobody can tell me what to do. That's the wrong answer right there. And that will either get you in trouble, get you put in jail, or that will get you dead in the grave. And just think about it. You have to be with your family and friends, with your fans. You have to be with your loved ones. And if you want to see them again, just be safe and be cautious. That's all that everybody is asking for. Well, until next time, I will see you all later on tonight for the late night version of the Talk of Poncho's Palace podcast, episode 158. Keep blazing and always have God in your life no matter what. And I'm signing out as of right now.